Hey guys, welcome back to the PX3 channel. My name is Shannon and I'm really excited to show you guys a new game mode for the OPTCG. Now this new game mode is called First Mate and I absolutely love it. It's really fun, and the reason I find it so fun is because you get to make way better combos and way better synergies than you do in the normal game. It's a little bit crazy. Basically what you do is you take your deck and you can add an additional color to it. So if you had a purple deck, you could add red or green or whatever color you wanted to add to it. If you had a dual color, let's say you had red, green, you could add purple to it. So you had like red, green, purple. So you get to add that additional color as well as an additional type and potentially a name as well. So, some cards like maybe 10 cost Big Mom, your leader has to be Big Mom Pirates. You do get to add an additional type. So there's an interesting way this works, and it's by adding a first mate to your deck, which is somewhere between a character and a leader. And I'm going to show you guys some cool combos. And then later I'll get to, there's more mechanics and there's a bit more requirements on the deck building that sort of makes it a little bit more fair. But what I want to do is I want to show you guys some of the really cool combos you can do and explain the basics on how it works. And then we'll get into the nitty gritty stuff later. But yeah, basically you add your first mate to your deck and it unleashes so much more potential for synergies and combos, and it's a lot of fun. And just quickly, before we get into the combos, I just want to let you know we are doing a giveaway. So if you'd like to win this leader and the winner Nami, we're doing two little giveaways. So one is going to be for just Australia, the other is going to be worldwide. And the way that you can win these is by leaving a comment where you put your combo. So do hashtag combo. Then afterwards, you can tell me what combo you would do with your leader and your first mate. And then just make sure that your Discord name is in your comment somewhere. And you've also got to join the Discord. So join the Discord, leave your comment, leave your Discord name in the comment, and you might get drawn, and this will get sent out to you for free, one of these, if you do win, that is, of course. Okay, straight into the combos. So I'll show you how this layout works. So one of the first combos that might be really OP, I think, is if you have a purple leader, like let's say purple Luffy, and then you add a yellow first mate. And so a yellow first mate now means that this deck can have both purple and yellow cards, as well as, because we've chosen a yellow character that has the Big Mom Pirates type, it now means that when we play a character, it can refer to both the leader or the first mate, which obviously means we can now play 10 Mom in this deck, which is pretty broken with purple Luffy. Don't get too scared. The game mode, it has ways to balance this out, and there's a lot of other OP combos as well. But yeah, so this is just a really fun combo you can do, and you can do creative little things like this, and even just playing other big combos, like getting to Yamato pretty quickly is really nice in this deck. So like a purple yellow deck is a really cool combo. Another one that I think is really strong is, we all know how strong Sakazuki is. So what if Sakazuki was 5 life and had a really cool leader effect? Obviously we don't get the neg and the cycle, but with Crocodile and as Kuzan as your first mate, there is another thing you get to do with your first mates. And that thing is you can play them from the first mate zone. So you'd have your hand, but you'd also have Kuzan here every single game. And once you hit 10 Don in this deck, you get to play your Kuzan out for 10. You'd neg all your opponent's board to -5. So you'd be able to kill a 5 cost or less. And then you'd be able to bounce a 10 cost with your leader effect at 10. So you get rid of a 5 and a 10 every time you hit 10 in this deck, which is a really nice combo. And I think it's really nice you can have really strong combos, like in the past one where we were looking at having the typing being really OP, but this one is kind of like the first mate itself being really strong, which I like that there's different ways you can build this. And I'll show you another way that you could build it. I don't think this one is as strong, but I think it's really fun. And this game mode, you don't have to build the most OP thing. It can just be a really cool combo you want to do. And so this one is a 3-color leader. So you've got red, green, law with purple, and it would be a film style deck. So you could have red, green, and purple in here. Use all the film from all 3 colors. You've got 3 different types of searches, and I just think it'd be a lot of fun. So if you have any typings that you really like, you can actually build them in this deck, which you can't normally do in the actual game. Now, a lot of these combos are very OP, and a way that we have decided to sort of tone it down and make the games a little bit varied and it's a little bit more fun is these decks can only have 1 of each card. So this Big Mom can only be a 1 of in this deck. So you're not going to see it every single game. So you need to actually try to add multiple good cards in the same Don range. So for this deck, it'd be like Big Mom, Yamato, Enel, all your sort of high cost cards you'd be wanting to add so you can try to see them, but you wouldn't consistently see Big Mom, for example. And the other thing that sort of deters some decks is you might be wondering why I didn't have Big Mom here, and then you just play Big Mom from the first mate zone. And this wouldn't work. And the reason for that is when you're basing the effect on the typing, so Big Mom needs your leader to be Big Mom Pirates, Katakuri's here, which is fine. But if you'd played Katakuri, then there's nothing in your first mate zone. So, because this is a character now, it's not in your first mate zone. So you can't actually use it, the effect of the Big Mom Pirates. You'd actually have to leave it there if you want to play your 10 cost Mom. Which means if you had 10 cost as your first mate, and you wanted to play it out, well, there's nothing there anymore. So you're only a Straw Hat crew with Luffy. You're not a Big Mom Pirates. All right, I hope you guys liked some of those combos, and I hope you're thinking of some of your own. Make sure to leave it down in the comments with your Discord name, and make sure you join the Discord so that you go in the running for those giveaways. I'll leave some more information down below about like when that's going to be drawn and all of that. Yeah, so join the Discord, and if you guys have any local shops, you can maybe show them. We have the rules written down, and I'm going to go through them shortly. I would really like to see other stores playing this game mode. It's a bit more casual, and there's some more mechanics in there, and there's actually a 4-player game mode. So rather than a 1v1, it's a 1v1v1v1. It's a free-for-all. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be doing it as a regular event at our locals because the people have been loving it. It's a really fun game mode. It's a little bit more casual. You get to do heaps of cool combos. There's a little bit of politics with your group. It's a little bit, I guess, like Commander if you've ever played Magic. But it's really fun, 4-person. You get more combos in the deck. Let's run through the rules now, and I will show you a little bit more of the mechanics through the game. There's a few things we haven't touched yet, so let's have a look at that.
Hey guys, let's go through the rules now for First Mate game mode. There's a few more mechanics we haven't touched, as well as different ways to play the game. There is a 4-person game mode, like I said, which we'll get to. That's my preferred way to play the game, so let's get through it. So there is a ban list, by the way. The only card in this game mode that is banned is Nami, Nami leader, and that's because your deck list is reduced to minimum of 40, as well as you can give Nami access to black, so she just mills way too quickly. She doesn't really fit in this game mode. Other cards that are banned in normal One Piece, like Kabaji or Boat for Whitebeard, are not banned, so you can bring those old cards back. They're only one-offs, so they're not going to be as strong. But yeah, you can bring those banned cards back, which is kind of fun that you get to play with cards that you normally wouldn't be able to as well. For deck building, like we said, you add your first mate, which adds an additional color. So if you had a blue leader plus a black first mate, you'd be blue-black. Blue-yellow with a green first mate would be blue-yellow-green. You can only have one copy of any card in your deck, and you must have a minimum of 40 cards in your deck. That'd be 42, including your leader and your first mate. So for this, we've got a little picture here. So we've got Zoro as our first mate, Kid as our leader, so that's red-green, which means our deck can have red and green cards in there. Now, this first mate, so that's the first mate zone there, you can actually play him out if you wanted to. And so the first mate zone is actually its own unique area. And so when your first mate is there, it's its own area, so it's not counted as a card in your hand. It's not counted as a character on the field. It's not counted as a card in your life or in your deck. It's in its own area. However, when you have a card that's got an effect, it can refer to your first mate that's in the first mate zone. So, here's some more examples. I think we went through it before with 10 cost Mum and having a Big Mum Pirates. But let's say we want to use some red cards. So, we have Port Gisty Ace as our first mate here, as the example. This would allow us to play the 7 cost Ace, because he looks at your typing being Whitebeard Pirates, which we've got here, Whitebeard Pirates. And then we'd also actually be able to play Flame Emperor, which looks at your name of your leader being Port Gisty Ace. And so we've got the name of our leader, which we can refer to our first mate, which is Port Gisty Ace. So we'll be able to use both of these cards while that card is in our first mate zone, which is pretty cool. But once you play him out, you can't use these cards. The effects wouldn't work anymore. Or like you'd play them, but the effects wouldn't work. However, you can get your first mates back into your first mate zone. And so this is a mechanic I haven't gone over, and I'll show you. These rules covered, I'll let you guys read them in your own time, and I'll just go to the little example we have here. So, if 5 cost Luffy was our first mate, you can play it from the first mate zone for how much it costs. So it'd be 5. So you'd the first time you play it, it would cost 5, and you'd play it out. Obviously, it might die at some point, or get bot decked, or maybe someone plays 8 cost Katakuri, puts it in your life, removes it from the board. Whenever your first mate moves zone, so gets KO'd, bot decked, to your hand, anything like that, you can choose to instead move it to your first mate zone, which means you'd be able to play it again. So if you play it a second time, you're allowed to, but it's going to cost 2 more Don. So this 5 cost Luffy, you add 2 Don to 5, he'd now cost 7. And then if that happens again, you could play it a third time. He'd cost 9 Don now. So you probably wouldn't be looking to do this that often, but it's just you can play it another time, or you can just put it back to your first mate zone so that you have those additional effects that some other cards rely on your first mate being. And we've got the other rules here for that. If you'd like to take a gloss over them later, you can check the rules on our Discord, or I should maybe yeah, check our Discord out for the rules. There'll be a channel that has the rules there. You can play the game as a 1v1, so you just play it like normal. I'm sure most of you guys know how to play One Piece, so you just be playing it like normal, but you've got an extra color, you've got one-ofs in your deck. That's really fun. I've played it that way, but my preferred way to play it is playing it with 4 players. It's a lot of fun. It gets pretty hectic, but it's like, I don't know, it's just so much fun, like teaming up with people, and then like you've got to change it out because it's like you might team up, but then your teammate gets too strong, so you got to like change it around. It's a lot of fun. And the way that you set up the 4-player game mode is you'd have 2 people on one side, 2 people on the other. Decide who's going to be player 1, whether it's rolling dice or if you have your own way of finding out who player 1 is. Then you'd go clockwise, so left of player 1, in a circle, you decide who player 2, player 3, player 4 is, which would also be your turn order. When you set up your life, you give yourself 1 more life than normal. So if you're a 4 life leader, you'd have 5. If you're a 5 life leader, you'd have 6. This is just because when you've got 4 players, you kind of need that extra barrier in case multiple people are attacking you, that you don't die too quickly. No one can attack on their first turn. And then for adding Don cards and drawing cards at the start of your turn, player 1 and player 2 would add 1 Don and draw 0 cards for their first turn. And every turn for every player after that, you'd add 2 Don and you'd draw a card. So just like normal sort of One Piece. To win the game, you have to be the last player standing. And so when a player is dealt damage at 0 life, you're eliminated. Or if your deck reaches 0 cards, then you'd be eliminated from the game. So if you're the last player standing, so other 3 players get eliminated, then you'd be the winner. You're allowed to talk to other players while you're playing, and obviously, but you can reveal information verbally. You can tell people stuff like, "Hey, I've got this card," or "Hey, do you want to team up for me? Let's create an alliance. Let's go after this guy." You can say all of that. You could lie as well. You could. So there's a lot of fun that you can do with it. The one thing you're not allowed to do is physically reveal information. So you can't sure play your hand, for example. You have to convince them that you have certain cards. Uh, Cards have different effects when you're playing with more players. So we've got the card effect rules here as well as some examples. I'm not going to go over them in this video just because it would be a little bit long and might get a little bit confusing. But so these are some good examples, and the card effect rules for most cards should be here. These are based off the buddy battle rules for when you're regarding multiple opponents. Don't refer to buddy battle rules for buddies because there isn't any buddies in this. It's only just you've got 3 opponents. But some cards will affect only one side of the, so will affect only one field, so only one opponent. So an example would be Rob Lucci, where some other cards can affect multiple fields, like maybe my own and an opponent, or 2 opponents, which would be like Tenko's Kaido. The reasons are here if you want to have a look. There's different rules that refer to different effects on the cards, so take a look at those if you'd like to sort of figure out what cards do what in the 4-player game mode. This is the rules. Check it out in the Discord if you are interested. I'd really recommend sending this to your locals and maybe sending this video to your local game shop and seeing if they'd be interested in running some sort of casual first mate games. It's a lot of fun. Our local game shop is going to be running this regularly. So that's Beyond Odyssey. They're one of our sponsors as well, so a big shout out to them. They're going to be running this game regularly, and we're going to see so many cool combos. So many people love it. They just have fun building and seeing new synergies, and it's so much fun with like creating new friends and that as well. So yeah, I'd really recommend giving it a try. Remember to leave your combo ideas in the comments. So yeah, leave it in the comments and join the Discord if you're interested in that giveaway. And then just a big shout out to our other sponsors like Eternal Magic. Check them out for all your One Piece singles and other TCG singles, as well as Team Card Titan. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button if you did enjoy the video. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments, or if it's feedback about this game mode, go on the Discord. And yeah, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching.